I think my favorite thing about Catlin is how close we get with our teachers and how supportive they are, because even if you're having a hard time in one of their classes, like, they'll bend over backwards to help you out. And I don't know if you get that at other places.
Welcome and friendliness and I guess openness to, what am I trying to say? There really isn't much of a distinction between faculty, students, community, you know, everyone mixes in, and that's lovely. It's really nice.
Well, the thing for me that I think stands out about Catlin Gable is that it really encourages the growth of people as individuals. I mean, Catlin's not really just an academic place, or it's not a place that focuses on one thing. Catlin, one of the things that Catlin really stresses is trying out new things, exploring different topics, subjects, or just trying out new things like arts or sports. And I think that's really powerful in helping people grow in every facet of their life.
I think it's really special how Catlin is really open to doing a lot of kind of trips and like taking students outside of class and like with faculty or without faculty, like whatever, but it's just like winterim and the outdoor trips and all of these things that just kind of get you outside of the classroom, because I don't know, I feel like that's really refreshing, because sometimes the academics can be really overwhelming, and so when you get to like spend time with your peers and not a really rigorous environment, it's really nice.
My favorite thing about Catlin is probably the sense that everyone cares about each other to some degree, probably because we know each other really well, for better or for worse.
So having come from a larger university environment, I really think that it's kind of the small culture and the small class sizes and the fact that I can walk around campus and really know everybody. That's a really special thing, and it's something that I think you guys will cherish when you go out there into the real world.
I really like how the teachers care about you a lot. Like, they will ask you what's up if they see that you're like not doing well, or even if you're doing fine, they'll just ask if there's anything they can help you with, and that's like not normal, but it's really nice.
So my favorite thing about Catlin is my relationships and friendships with my teachers, and that's the same thing that I'll remember, like, you know, years and years after Catlin. I have some of the closest relationships with my teachers just because they take the time to sit down with me and just talk. Even if it's not about school and they could be like grading work, but they actually like care about what's going on in your life.
I like the bathrooms.
I love bathrooms.
I like
really
the free snacks that come with
Wait, what are we?
the events.
Oh, it's a video.
I thought it was a picture.
You gotta make all your sandwiches on Sunday, so you have more time for sleeping during the week.
I'm thinking what I like, okay?
So what I love about Catlin is the students, which may be what everybody says when you ask them, but I think that, you know, one of the things that's really fun to have as a teacher here is students who are genuinely excited about what you're doing in class, and they want to hang out and they want to learn more. They've pushed me harder than any other group of students I've ever worked with have pushed me, and I value that professionally because it keeps me on my toes, and it's great.
Well, I think my favorite thing about Catlin is the community and how everybody is really connected with each other and the teachers. And I really like the arts program and the history program and kind of the people around that.
I would boil it down to two things. The interaction with my colleagues. I'm frequently blown away by the depth of their knowledge and their dedication and work ethic. And the richness of the conversation that takes place whenever there is conversation with them. And then the engagement of the students, people like you interviewing me in your free period, and just the curiosity and the real drive toward acquisition of knowledge and skills, but also the sense of responsibility toward the world and one another. Kind of boils down to those two things.
Caplin's really special to me because I feel like all the classes are so close to each other. Like, you don't have almost like a hierarchy, and upperclassmen and lowerclassmen are so close. And I also really like the size of the school. Everyone's so nice to each other, and it's being a new student, everyone's just been really welcoming, and that's what I like about Catlin.
I really love all the traditions. I was just at Friday Sing this morning, and of course that's the best. But there's, you know, all kinds of things all through the school that just bring us all together. I love that.
Ditto. But I also think that the idea of students and faculty working together on so many things is just very special, and I think I didn't have that when I went to high school, and I think it's a really wonderful thing, both for the faculty and for the students, I hope.
Yeah.
Well, I've been here a long time, and from the very first day I noticed how wonderful the relationships were, especially between the teachers and the students, and I think that that is the part that has kept me engaged and enjoying working here all these years.
Because you have such a really nice and small-knit community, I think that sometimes, you know, we can come to campus and we can kind of be insulated in our world, and we can forget that there's a wider world out there, not just Portland, but also the Pacific Northwest and the West. And so I think I'd like to see people kind of jump out of their comfort zones a little bit more. And I mean, that's going to require, you know, faculty and administration too, to make sure that we put you guys into the activities and give you learning opportunities where you're able to go out into the world and kind of experience, you know, world outside of Catlin. But that would be my recommendation.
What I'd like to see us continue to work on is becoming as innovative or as we can, so progressing in our creativity around courses and curriculum and the way that we reach out to the larger world of Portland and the nation and the world. And I would like to see students be more relaxed in their learning, and to have them perceive less pressure about performance and be able to engage with what is really important to them, and not have all of that real pressure of college and product that I think sometimes becomes an obstacle.
So I think the one thing I would probably change about Catlin is coming in past my first semester senior year. It's like the competitiveness surrounding college. Like, I know people say that they don't, but like we all compare ourselves to each other, and like I think Catlin's moving towards a more prep school-y route, which I guess is, I mean, like that just seems so odd to me, since we're so holistic about education, and like it's like education as an experience of education, not about where that ends up. Like, we're doing this so you can get into this college. It's just sort of like to explore that field. And so I think it's really weird that there's so much pressure to go to like private universities, even that may not be the best thing for you. And the college counselors would never ever force you to do that, but like other students will basically peer pressure you into thinking that's like what you need to do. And like tying your college journey, quote unquote, into everyone else's is just super unhealthy and makes everyone more stressed out than they really need to be.
And I guess if I had to change something about Catlin, maybe kind of let more people with different socioeconomic backgrounds in, because we seem to have a lot of fairly wealthy people and not as much people who have had to work really hard to get here, stuff like that.
I'd actually like to see you guys working a little less. That sounds awful, but I think you are carrying an enormous load, especially with it's the quantity of the homework. I think it's not the rigor of it, but it's the quantity. And when I get emails sent to me at 11 o'clock at night when I think you should all be winding down and in bed, that just doesn't seem right.
And what we should work on, I would love it, and this goes for me, not just for everyone else, if we could all go to more of the like plays and concerts and those kinds of things. I feel like when I do go, I know we're all busy, and I just think, oh, everyone's so busy, but it would be fun if I could see more people there when I also am not too busy to go. And also, if someone could work on the heat in my office, that would be good. It's cold in there.
Ditto. But I think what I would like for us to, all of us individually, work on being more welcoming to anybody that's joining our community. So I think that adds to the diversity, but it also adds to the feeling of everybody being in a community. And I agree. I think we all feel so busy that we forget how supportive it is to each other to go to each other's events. And so I think that would be a great thing if we could all kind of make a commitment that we were going to leave time in our busy lives for that.
And if I could change one thing about Catlin, there'd be like an underground tunnel to the theater, so I wouldn't have to walk in the rain to CNC every morning because I get really wet and it's cold outside during most of the year.
I would like to have us slow down a little bit because there seems to be so many new things that I don't think sometimes we get a chance to practice them to see really whether they have a lot of benefits. So I think that I would, while we continue to be dynamic and move in wonderful and positive directions, I also would like to see us slow down and really test things and see whether we should be galloping constantly.
So, you know, I think we have a lot of work to do at this school around the diversity and identity initiatives that we've been working on. And, you know, it's not something that's ever going to be finished. It's ongoing work, but until we can really take a look at and unpack what it means to be a member of this really amazing community and how we can make people who are new to the community feel deeply included and feel a sense of ownership in what that's all about, I think it's going to be challenging for us. You know, it's not about bringing people in and asking them to adapt to who we are, but really learning how to grow and adapt ourselves to the influence of new people and new ideas.
About Catlin, I would give the students some perspective on how small Catlin is. I don't know, I feel like there's like a Catlin bubble and people like live in this tiny, like, I don't know. This isn't like, I don't know.
I think sometimes Catlin Gable is kind of has this independent streak. Like they always try to be the most progressive school around. And I don't necessarily think that's always the right stance. There are a lot of tried and true methods that work in other schools for learning. And I'm not sure if Catlin Gable should always try to stay away from all these methods because they've worked before.
I wish that students would work harder to change the things that they didn't like about the school, because I know that we all have little things that we'd like to change, and we're given a lot of opportunities by the faculty and by the administration to have our voices heard, and I just wish people took advantage of that more because I think there's a lot that we could do if people wanted to.